Who is that on the radio?
Who is that on the radio?
Who is that on the radio?
You really want to know who's on the radio? Come on. Let's talk about it.
Jeffrey. Let's talk about it live with Jeffery L Miller. Watching is the best decision you'll ever make. Thursday nights from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern.
You know what time it is.
Call or text in live, 470-251-4647. Hashtag Let's Talk with Jeffrey. And come check us out on www.statusnetwork.net or download the Status Network app on your Apple or Google Play Store.
Let's give them something to talk about.
It's almost showtime, people.
Let's tune in to see what Jeffrey has in store for us tonight. And here is your host, Jeffery L Miller.
What is going on, Facebook family? What's going on, Instagram family? It is time for Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffery L Miller, right here on Manifest TV, powered by the Status Network. And it's about to be on and popping. I need y'all to understand, it's been a minute since I've been on air. I got a lot of pent-up frustration with a whole lot of different stuff, and we're going to talk about it all tonight. But I am joined by a lot of intelligent, funny, witty, smart, successful people. To my right, Renee Griggs, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
All right, glad to have you, glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here.
That's that C-Town for you.
Yay.
Don't act like y'all don't know Columbus, Georgia in this
That's right,
piece.
represent.
You know what it is. All right, and to my left, now I'm gonna tell y'all a little story. The person who inspired me to do radio is in the building today. The legendary Ann Vu from Vus Views. I always mix that up. How you doing, Ann?
I'm good. Thank you, Jeffrey. I had no idea that I was the one that inspired you.
Absolutely.
This is news to me.
Absolutely. Nothing but the truth. Back in the day, you used to light it up. You still light it up with everything you do now.
Thank you.
All right. Next to her, a dynamic actor, speaker, motivator, positive brother, doing big things. Brother Zeus. Zeus, love you. How are you?
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm doing fantastic today.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now listen, I told y'all it's been a minute, but there's some things that have not changed. First of all, pollen in the spring in Atlanta is still off the chain. Traffic, now that all these vaccinations are going on, is off the chain once again in Atlanta. But the weather was good today. My granddaughter loves me. My mama loves me. My brothers and sisters, they all love me. But you know what time it is. It's time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions, I give you some answers from a man's point of view. Now, I got one reason for the habitually single woman and one reason for the habitually single man as to why you might be single. But before we get into that, here is my disclaimer. Now, see, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you. If it does apply to you, I want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in them because you're about to learn something tonight. Ladies, you go first. All right, ladies, some of y'all are single simply because you understand that intellectually you want a relationship, but in reality, you're not ready for it. This is what I mean. You want that guy to be educated, and he is. You want that guy to be ambitious, and he is. You want to be attracted to him, and you are. You want him to be successful. He is. But what do you bring to the table other than drama? Drama. Or a lack of cooperation. Or competition. Your man don't want to compete with you. He competes out in the world. He don't want to compete with you. Matter of fact, why should he compete with you? So ladies, I'm going to give you this out of love. If you want all those things from your mate, bring something to the table other than the cookies. Failure to do that explains exactly why your ass is single. Y'all thought I was playing with y'all. I am not playing with y'all. Renee, what do you think?
I don't think that it's just for males and females. I think it's generally. I think the males feel like, hey, I want a woman that got a 5-figure job. I want that woman that is educated, no children, got her own. And sometimes the expectations on both sides is you want something that you yourself don't have.
That's a fair point.
Bam.
That's a fair point. But we talking about the women right now. Ann, what you think?
I can totally understand where men are coming from. You know, men have a lot to deal with as far as being the head of the household, being the breadwinner. There's a lot of pressure on men to constantly be the man, be the leader, be the provider, be the protector. So the last thing they want to deal with when they get home is someone nagging them, bringing drama, more problems. They want someone who's going to fill their cup that they've emptied all day versus coming home and having to empty it some more. So, yeah, I can understand where men come from. And, you know, I do think that some men do have expectations that are a little bit too high. Because, and the only reason I say that, again, only if the shoe fits, it might be something they don't bring to the table. It might be something that they don't have within themselves, but they expect a woman to have it. Like, for example, you know, for her to always look good. The lady that had the bonnet on her head, she was getting dragged because she had the bonnet on her head.
Hate bonnets.
And, you know, at what point do we just say, hey, you know, I'm not going to be beautiful every day. I'm not going to dress up every day and be cute every day. Are you going to be okay with that? Am I required to always be a 10 every day? Can you accept me on my days when I'm not looking so good? You know, so I think sometimes men can be a little superficial. Some men, let me clarify, some men can be a little superficial. But I see both sides.
Love it. Love it. Great point, but we still talking about the women right now. Brother Zeus, what do you think?
Well, for this particular, specialized group of problematic women, I mean, I definitely see where the men are coming from. But it all boils down to what you mentioned earlier with people not really addressing the issues that they have. And as a parental coach, whenever I see somebody that's off-kilter, problematic, that's creating sabotaging situations for themselves, I always go back to the parenting. Clearly, they weren't raised properly. You know, and not being raised properly leads to an abundance of issues, because if your parents don't help you work through them, you have to work through them on your own. But you first have to recognize that you have issues to even start that process of fixing them. So,
Yeah.
Love it, love it. Well said, well said. Now, fellas, don't think I'm letting y'all off the hook. Fellas, you are next. All right, fellas, some of y'all are single simply because you ain't about business. I mean, no type of business. Trying to be a provider? Nah, you can't do that. Trying to take care of yourself? Nah, you can't do that either. Trying to be a good father? Nah, you can't do that one either. Having good credit? Nah, you ain't got that. Having a little bit of money? Nah, you ain't got that either. You got that wood. That's all you bring to the table is that wood. Can you go 2 rounds? Nah, you can't do that either. Fellas, now being all serious with you now, fellas, you got to bring something to the table other than the wood. You think your woman can't get wood? She can go to the gas station and get hit on 5 times. 5 times each way. That's 10 times round trip. So I need you to understand, fellas, you got to bring something to the table of gravitas. You have to have something that woman can partner with or cleave to. You have to have something going on that draws her to you and keeps her there. Now, failure to do that, you might meet some women, but you ain't gonna keep them. And that's probably why your ass is single right now. I told y'all it's been a minute. I got a lot of stuff pent up in me. Getting it all out today. Brother Zeus, what do you think?
Oh, geez, I completely agree. I've known and know quite a few brothers who function in that capacity. Societally, there is a huge focus on, sexual prowess. And a lot of guys are flattered by it. It's the flattery that keeps them in that space because they feel like I wield something in a way that most guys don't. So they're able to take advantage of opportunities and are presented with opportunities that a lot of other guys don't get. And don't let them be fit now. Don't let them be fit swinging the wood, because they won't build in any other area. They won't work on the personality, the character, the finances. They'll just ride that wave that other women present to them and just brag about it to their friends. In times in the past when I've been offered certain things by women and I turn it down, and I tell certain guys, they're like, what's wrong with you? You out of your mind? You better go back and get that. You follow me? So there are a lot of people who seem like straight up guys that are well-to-do and well put together, but if they were put in a position where they were super fit and slinging major wood, they would act the same way. So,
love it. That's real talk right there. I need y'all to understand that is real talk. And what do you think?
I think the reason why a lot of men are single are because they can't lead, provide, and protect. Those are the three foundations that women look for in a man. The moment he's lacking in any one of those three categories, she begins to lose respect for him. And it's not to say to be controlling. You have to know the difference between being able to take control versus being controlling. A man that knows how to take lead of a situation, protect his family, make her feel like he's the protector, and then also be able to provide, not just financially, but be able to support her mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and emotionally, and that goes both ways. That works both ways. But the moment she doesn't feel those three things, those three fundamental things, she loses respect for a man. And
agreed.
So
hard to get it back when it's gone. Hard to get it back when it's gone. Renee, what do you think?
Well, I think that men so often use sex as the tool to keeping a woman, when first we got to become friends. I need to know you intellectual. And conversation is very important. And once a woman has lost respect for a man, it's a done deal, right? So I really believe that the intellectual comes first, me getting to know you, and then just being nurturing to that woman. You got to be able to nurture your woman and get to know her in all aspects. And sex isn't the main thing. You can have the wood, but every man got the same thing between his legs, like every woman got the same thing through her legs.
Okay, we have a rule on this show. Don't nobody ring the bell but me on this show. And she did it so quick, I wasn't even ready for it. She caught me glancing at my notes and just blah. Promise y'all it'll never happen again. Promise y'all. Well said, well said. All right, so here we go. We got a lot of things to get into, but I want to take a moment to talk about Morris Brown College, my alma mater. Hail to thee, maker of men. Honor to thee once again. We have reached accreditation status. Candidacy status for accreditation. And that means that we can now go and apply to receive federal financial aid so that when students attend, they can receive federal financial aid. It's been a long time, almost 20 years. And recently, we were able to do a news appearance on CBS 46. The president had a chance to speak, and he talked about where the school is going. And I was able to also talk just a little bit about Morris Brown. I'll do that now, and then we'll get going to the show. Back in 2003, when the school lost its accreditation, a very popular radio host said, he posed the question, should we save Morris Brown? Should they just let it go? Now, he wasn't being mean about it, but he asked a legitimate question. Okay, so I called into the show, and I said, I almost called his name out. I said, you know what? I said, Ryan Cameron, you know what? My kids are going to go to Morris Brown College. If I got anything to say about it, guess who enrolling in the fall? My daughter. So when you speak, and you speak from a place of connection, or that part of you, that powerful part of you that's in tune with God, spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it, when you speak like that, you are affirming something, and then you will get a response when you believe it. Now, I'm not saying that I did it all by myself. It's just me speaking those words. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we were very intentional with how we kept pushing and never gave up. All right, our number is 470-251-4647, 470-251-4647. We got some HBCU love, and guess who we getting ready to show? Morris Brown College. All right, here we go. HBCU love, go ahead and roll clip.
Bring back memories, huh?
Man, look, I'm over here having a flashback on them. Oh, I still got it. I still got it. Y'all better ask somebody. I might have to stretch later on, but I still got it. Yeah, there you go, there you go. All right, now listen. People giving advice has been happening forever. One genre of advice givers focusing, well, there's a big focus on women when it comes to giving advice, relationship advice. And women buy it by the droves. Buy the book, buy the DVD, go see the movie. They'll do it. What I found, though, is that men, you know, some of us, you can give it to us or take it, or leave it. We'll take it or leave it. But there are two young men right now out there who, one of them is kind of in trouble now, but he's been out there for a minute, Derek Jackson. And Derek Jackson has made a name for giving women what they want to hear. Saying it in a way that's all flowery. If that man don't marry you, you should leave him. If that man doesn't, you know, give you a baby, you should leave him. I mean, I'm being, you know, flip about it, but that's basically what he does. And most men hate it. Most of the men that I know absolutely detest it. Knew a guy, Kevin Samuel. I mean, he'll hit you in the head with it. Just boom, this is how I feel, and boom, you low value. Ma'am, you are 5'2", and you weigh 190 pounds. You look like a linebacker. He has said that to one of his callers. Blunt as hell. And I know some men absolutely love it. So I want to talk about this a little bit. Why is it that when a man says something that could be the truth, but he says it unapologetically, a lot of women don't like it? Or when a man says something that's all soft and flowers, but also absolve you of responsibility is the right way to put it, some women love it. So I want to talk about that. Renee, what do you think?
I think women are naturally sensitive, regardless.
Naturally sensitive. Y'all can be mean as hell, though.
We can be. I agree. Women can be mean, and we can turn it on. I think that it's the way you can say it nicely and apologetically, but it's just she knows she's big, 190 pounds, 5'2". She don't want to hear that from a male. I mean, her girlfriend said it may be a little differently than hearing it from a male.
Fair point. She called in the show, though. And what do you think?
I see both sides. If you're calling into a show and you're aware that this person is like this, you have to be ready for what they're about to say to you bluntly. On the other hand, to answer your question, the reason why some women are turned off by Kevin Samuels is because, back to what you said, we want honesty, but it's all in the delivery. You know, it's all in how it's said. If it's said with compassion and kindness, you can still speak your truth. You can still be direct. But if the tone is condescending and demeaning, nobody's going to be open to hearing that. I don't care if it's male or female. You know, no one's receptive to hearing a condescending, demeaning tone.
Fair enough. Brother Zeus, what do you think?
Okay, so starting with Derek Jackson, it's I can understand why guys hate him. I completely understand that. And of course, I see why women loved him, you know, before his stuff came out. But if you're going to fire off the way he fired off, you have to make sure that the ground you're standing on is solid, because you're going to take fire. Okay, when you fly close to the sun, you got to make sure that your wings are not made of wax. You know, and his were made of wax. You know, so he was guilty of the same things that he was tearing people apart for. So that you can't lead with hypocrisy. You know, he was giving good advice, but as a life coach, as a like I said, a parental coach, as a father, as a mentor, it's not always about the message, it's how you deliver it. You got to deliver it tactful. You have to take into consideration who you're delivering it to, you know. As far as Kevin Samuels goes, of course, I mean, his advice, like train wrecks.
Yes.
So, of course, it's entertaining. And, you know, there's benefits to being blunt, but again, it's about tact and how you say it. You know, I'm trying to help people. So, you know, it's funny to tear people apart and just give it to them, shoot it to them straight. But that can be damaging, especially if you don't know their background and what they've already suffered through.
Absolutely. Agreed. I've seen some interactions that Kevin Samuels has had with some hosts who were women. And the back and forth was so it was so rocky. They were butting heads, and he was like, well, hey, listen, you asked me on your show, you asked me a question, I'm answering the question, but I'm not going to answer it the way that makes you feel good. I'm going to give it to you straight. From my perspective, I could see completely what he was saying because the young lady was attacking him.
Right.
And he was like, no, that's not what I said, and I've never said that. And he stood his ground, as he should have. I've seen Derek Jackson do some interviews, and it was more of a soft-spoken, like, okay, Renee, you know, I'm just blessed to be in this room with you.
Right.
And not articulating that masculinity that men have. It's like, okay, I'm bowing down. Now, don't get it twisted. Both of y'all, beautiful women, intelligent women, successful women. At the same time, we meet right here.
Exactly.
You know, and so I feel that a lot of times Derek Jackson was saying, guys, you got to come from down here and women up here. Don't get it twisted now. You should treat your woman like this. You meet her here, you just treat her like that.
Right.
What do you think, Ann? Anything?
You know, I totally agree with that, yeah. As far as the Kevin Samuels situation, I think a lot of what he says is truthful. I think the reason why some people are turned off by him is, again, just because of his delivery. But again, he is who he is.
Yep.
So if you call into his show, or like you said, if you're inviting him onto your show, you can't turn around and criticize the man for how he responds or how he answers because you signed up for it. So it's like,
You did.
But,
You did.
yeah,
You
that's
did.
my take on it.
It's like a double-edged sword.
I don't disagree at all. It's a double-edged sword. And that is the thing I'll say, wrapping this up with Derek Jackson. For so long, there were so many men who were just waiting. We know it's too good to be true. We know it. We waiting. There were some women, same way. We just waiting on it. And when it finally dropped, it dropped really, really hard. Now, I feel bad for his wife.
Yeah.
She actually is dealing with a lot, and she didn't ask for any of it.
Right.
She didn't sign up for it, but she's still standing there, and when she goes on and she makes her statements online, she's vilified. Women are more supportive of him, some women are more supportive of Derek Jackson than they are
Of her.
his aggrieved wife.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. But it ain't my relationship, it ain't my fight, we just talking about it. Right here, 470-251-4647. If you want to call and get some of this smoke, go ahead and call on in. DMX passed away. When I think about DMX, and I think about Chadwick Boseman, we have two men who stood up and they had a lot of masculinity, a lot of masculinity. It manifested itself differently in both of them. But when you heard them in the midst of their passion, it's unmistakable. They were doing what they were born to do.
Right.
So I got a little clip of DMX and a couple of other rappers chopping it up a bit in a cypher. We're going to play that clip and come back and talk about it. Roll clip.
They all say, niggas can't stop me because I'm pretty strong. All day, socks floating, sweatpants pockets bulging, holding it down on the corner of my block posing. My spot on and drop the price of the coaching. Hold the competition out, let the dough flow in. Cops is closing in. I could do the time, but what's really on my mind ain't no holes in the pants. I play the low end, try to make it hard to find me. Fed still trying to build the case since '93.
Bring it back, bring it back. Bring it back. You already know it's around.
That was back in the pool room again. Yo, moves is made, niggas is paid. That's just how it is. When my time is up, I'ma be out with them, I'ma try to live. I mean, day by day, ain't nothing sweet about it. Act like you don't know what I'm saying? Read about it. Built for war like an armadillo. Smother your ass, tooth through the pillow. My shit is brilliant. Manic depressive and my head hurts. No, give me your dough and your hoe in here. Take these phone. Hot things, I got things that make niggas spin. Put niggas in the wind where you never see niggas again. I bless a nigga with stitches, the thin type. And a straight razor will put pinstripe across your windpipe.
Start off my day, I'm off and running. And I miss my gun. I'm off and blunted, but not these days, because it's no longer fun. I am way worse than a friend.
Yeah.
8 bullets left in the chamber. Can't imagine the day. You done got these bullets.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Man, Renee, what's your favorite DMX song?
I like a lot of them. Get at me, dog. It's my favorite.
I ain't mad at you. Brother Zeus, favorite DMX song?
Slipping, falling, can't get up.
That one too.
And favorite one?
Who let the dogs out? I'm just joking. I don't know. What is that song that always comes on? I'm sorry. I don't. I love
okay.
DMX, but I'm not someone who's very familiar with all the names of his songs.
Understood.
The Rough Rider.
Love it. Where the hood at? Yeah. Where the hood at? I mean, it just killed it. I got to say that with DMX passing in the way that he did, you really have to take the lesson of doing everything you can while you can in that moment. Have you ever just Google DMX praying?
Oh yeah.
And just listen to it. There's a collection of them. Just listen to them. It's crazy how much passion he was able to bring in a prayer. It's powerful. Chadwick Boseman passed away. Now I ain't gonna front. When Prince passed away, everybody who knows me knows I'm a big Prince fan. I was not as moved by Prince passing away as I was by Chadwick Boseman passing away. Just the epitome of masculinity, black male masculinity. Always carried himself in a way that lets you know that this brother is here to make an impact, not just to get along, make an impact. So when we lose great people like that, it brings me to this thought. How do we as black men, how do we mourn? How do we get to express ourselves without losing that masculinity? So I want to talk as a group about this and just get your feedback on it. Well, actually, Brother Zeus, being the other man in the room, what do you think?
So masculinity has been, ever changing from generation to generation. I think that it needs to constantly evolve. And so, again, with mentoring, a huge part of helping these young brothers heal, because it's working with an organization that focuses on trying to save young black men and women who are in the system from going deeper into the system, because it's predominantly us in the system. So that's who I work with predominantly. And so dealing with the young men, especially coming up in impoverished environments, a lot of times in the black community, in those environments, the masculinity is extremely thick, and it's a heavy focus. So they feel like they can't express themselves. They can't show weakness. They can't show the full range of their emotions. They're not even taught the full range of their emotions. So when we initially connect and I assess them and get a feel for their personality and character, I let them know that this is a space where they can explore the full range of those emotions, because not exploring that full range is toxic and is limiting and is problematic. It limits the kind of husband you can be. It limits the kind of father you can be. It limits the kind of family member you can be. It limits every aspect of your life, where every softer emotion, sadness, hurt, pain, devolves and mutates into anger, because you feel like if you feel sad, it's not masculine, it's feminine, it's soft. And so I encourage them to feel what they feel, and delve into that and explore it. So the first conversation I might have with somebody when I'm talking to them about their lives and what landed them in the program, a lot of times they'll end up shedding tears in front of me. And that's a space that they don't have anywhere else. They can't do it in their household. They can't do it around their friends. They can't do it in their hood. You follow me? So I feel that men should encourage one another to verbally express a broader range of emotions. Feel that broader range of emotions. Express it to your kids, your lady, and to each other. That's the highest point. Expressing it to each other until it's a new norm. If you're hurt, you go up to your friend and let them know that hurt me, that offended me. And deal with it in the moment. Don't mask it with anger. If you're sad, express that. Don't mask it with anger. You follow me? So.
I love the way you put it, masking something, masking a pain or sadness or fear with anger is a real big issue. Real big issue. A lot of the people that grew up that were bullying people, they were trying to mask that damage. that hurt they had on the inside. And this is the only way they know how to deal with it. Pick on somebody else. Renee, what do you think?
I think that you said a lot because oftentimes it's from past generations where males aren't able to express themselves. You the man, you got to be a man, at a young age. So therefore, they're never able to express themselves until they get older and they meet someone or they deal with someone that recognize that they have other issues, and the only way to get you to bring that out is let's communicate, and they have to feel comfortable to communicate. They're more comfortable communicating with a stranger versus people they know for the guilt of I'm not a man, and I think it's very powerful that us and our generations today letting our young men know, like, it's okay to have an emotional side. You're still a young male, but it's so hard to get them with their friends. Like, I can speak about my own son. He's 16, and he has a hard time in front of his friends saying, I love you, mama, or giving me a hug, because to him, I'm not because his friends don't do it. I'm like, listen, it's okay. It's okay to say I love you to your mom or hug your mom. You still a man or a young man, but I think that's the problem. It's just the generations before had been taught that you a man, men don't cry, and that's the reason. And until you tap into it, you'll find there's a lot of baggage and emotions stirred up inside of someone.
Excellent feedback. And what do you think?
I think we need to normalize that being vulnerable is a strength. Being able to be vulnerable is a strength, because being able to be weak and admit that you're having a weak moment and being transparent takes a lot for somebody to do that. And it starts from the home. It starts from the time you're a child. If your parents aren't giving you a safe space to come and open up and be yourself and be able to express your emotions because you're a boy, and you're constantly told, you need to suck it up, you need to man up, because when you get out into that world, it's a cold world. Well, yes, they do have a point. But it also makes that boy feel like I can't express my emotions because every time I do, I'm being shut down. Yeah. So we need to really normalize that for men, that being vulnerable is okay.
Excellent feedback. I want to take the conversation a little bit, untwist it a little bit. Now, when we were growing up, we saw a lot of men around. Father, uncle, neighborhood full of father, uncle men up and down the street where I grew up. And then gradually, of course, with the war on drugs, the war on crime, it eviscerated the masculine energy in our neighborhoods. Right. But I can recall men like talking to each other, just shooting the breeze, telling lies, all loud, boisterous, and everything. But when they got with their wives, it was a softer conversation. Right. And I believe it's okay for men to still be in touch with their emotion, but to be men and talk the way that we talk. Exactly. So I want to know, can women really handle the way men really talk? I mean, like unfiltered, like, me and the boys hanging out, I might say some stuff that, if we were in a relationship, y'all be looking at me like I was crazy. But interpersonally, we don't talk to each other like that, because I talk to my woman differently than I talk to my boys. So are we allowed to have that space? I just want to know. What do you think?
I think it depends on the person. That's definitely something that I have to work through, because, I see that that's a problem in me, that sometimes when I see a man being vulnerable, sometimes I am like, okay, we get it. Okay, it's time to, so that is something that I've recognized in myself, and I need to take ownership of that. Okay. And, I've had some hard lessons and karma that has come back to bite me, where people have been cold or mean-spirited towards me, and I felt like, oh, this is my karma, because I haven't been compassionate or kind or as nice to someone when they were really down on their luck, so we need to be mindful of that. And so I'm getting better at it every day, and I think if we all just hold a mirror to ourselves and take ownership for those times that we haven't been as kind or as compassionate to somebody, but if people aren't willing to look in their own mirror and own it, then but if you are going to be transparent and you're going to be vulnerable, it's important to do it with someone you feel safe with. And if you don't have that person, maybe look for a mentor, look for a coach, somewhere where you can release that information, that, because if you don't, you're going to just bottle it up inside, and who knows how it comes out. It could be explosive, We don't
Very
know why
explosive.
people turn violent and, just start shooting up buildings or go on killing sprees. We don't know what's happened to that person to get them to that point. So it's highly important that people have a safe space to vent it out.
Agreed. Renee, what do you think?
I think it comes from where the person is from and who that person is. I feel like coming from a background where different personalities, educated, uneducated, just Christian, unchristian, just people in general, like you said, Jeffrey, coming from where people hung out on the street and they just play, and then you come face to face with your woman, you got a softer spot. So for me, I would rather my man be all of that. I want to see how you interact with your friends, and that's you. And I don't judge that because I interact with my girls a different way than I interact with my man, so I accept him. I don't think it's wrong for him to be boisterous or whatever he's doing with his friends. That's you. It's not looked upon any differently to me because we're going to have a different kind of relationship.
Agreed.
Automatically.
Agreed. Brother Zeus.
So I think that everybody has multiple dimensions. You know what I mean? And just like my daughter, there's a certain way that she talks around her friends that she doesn't talk around me. You know what I mean? And just like there's a certain way that certain cultures and races talk amongst each other, but they don't talk like that in the general public. So you're never going to be able to stifle a person's compartmentalized conversations. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's not overboard and outlandish, and as long as you can make sure that you have the ability to shift gears when you need to, smoothly and seamlessly. You follow me? You can't be, and we've seen trouble with the racial situations where you might be talking a little reckless around with your friends, and then you get caught or you slip up in the wrong environment because you forgot to turn it off. Same thing with kids. If they're talking with their friends and then they bring that and they accidentally slip up in front of the parent, well, you're going to get in trouble.
Absolutely.
So it's all about managing those compartmentalized dimensions of oneself.
Well said. Y'all thought I was playing when I said there was going to be some heat up in this piece today. 470-251-4647 is the number. Okay, so check it out. A lot of folks in this country done lost their damn mind. And unfortunately, some of them wear badges. Unfortunately, there have been a lot of interactions that are bringing more and more focus on how policing is structured in this country. And it's a needed view. So I got a couple of clips. I want y'all to understand something. I'm just trying to draw a parallel between interactions with minorities and police and interactions with the other folks and police. So I just can't believe that he didn't get shot based on this clip that I'm about to show you. With all the stuff we keep hearing if you just comply, if you just speak nicely, show respect, do all this stuff, maybe you won't get shot. Walking across the street, shot, killed. Playing in a park, shot, killed. Asking directions, shot, killed. Leaving an apartment complex, in handcuffs, on your stomach, shot, killed. I can keep going. That's just off the top of the dome. So I want to play this clip right here and show you he didn't get shot. Showing you that he didn't get shot. After all that stuff, you talk all this stuff, you do all this stuff, you won't get shot. But watch this clip and then we'll come back and talk about it. Here we are, roll clip.
Oh my God. Oh, hell no. The cop is on there! Oh. Oh my God. Oh,
He
hell
didn't get
no.
shot. Watch. He
The
did
cop
not.
is on there! Oh.
In case you want to know how the story ended, he was taken into custody. He's in jail right now. He should be in jail. He jeopardized every one of those police officers' lives with that weapon, a 4,000 pound weapon, and he didn't get shot. He did not get shot. Now, by comparison, there was a soldier in the Army driving a truck. They flipped the lights on, wanted him to pull over. He said, I ain't pulling over till I get to a well-lit area. Pulled over, got maced, guns drawn, pulled out of his car. He said, I don't want to put my hands down, you want to do my seatbelt. Why do we have this type of feeling towards the police? I'd like to talk about that. Guns drawn. They pulled up to him with the guns drawn. Before we play that clip, I just want to get some feedback on that. Ann, what do you think?
Well, there's definitely a difference between the way police treat blacks and the way they treat whites. And I think all black people are asking for is give us the same fair treatment that you give white people. And if anybody has an issue with it, they're part of the problem.
Absolutely.
You're not paying attention.
Absolutely. We'll come back to Brother Zeus, but I want to play this clip. I want you to see the interaction with this soldier. Go ahead and roll that clip.
Get out the car! Open the door slowly and get out!
Get out of the car now!
Open the door and get out the car!
Hold still, hold. Keep your hands outside the window. Keep your hands outside the window. Get out of the car now.
Get out of the car!
Now! Get out of the car now! Get out of the car now!
I'm serving this country and this is how I'm treated.
Yo, what? Guess what? I'm a veteran too. I learned to obey. Get out of the car.
What's going on?
Get out of the car now.
What's going on?
What's going on is you're fixing to ride the lightning, son. Get out of the car now. Get out of the car now. Get out of the car.
Sir, just get out the car. Work with us and we'll talk to you. Get out the car.
You received an order. Obey it.
I'm honestly afraid to get out. Can I?
Yeah, you should be. Get out.
What's
Get out.
on? Get out the car.
Get out
I
now.
have not committed any crime.
You're being stopped for a traffic violation. You're not cooperating at this point right now. You're under arrest for, you're being detained, okay? You're being detained for obstruction of justice.
Traffic violation. I do not have to get out the vehicle. You haven't even told me why I'm being stopped.
Really?
Get
out of the car now. Get out of the car.
Get your hands off me.
Get out of the car.
Get your hands off me.
You know what?
Get your hands off me.
It's not a problem.
Hands off me.
Back up,
I
man.
didn't do anything. Don't do that.
Sir, get out of the car now.
Hey, sir.
Get out of the car now.
Sir, look, I'm trying to talk
Get out.
to you. Okay. I'm trying to
I'm
talk.
get out.
Just get out of my car. Can you please relax? Can
Get
you
out.
Please relax.
Get out of the car right now. Now.
This is not how you treat a vet. I'm actively serving this country, and this is how you're going to treat
Do you see that?
I didn't do anything.
Back up.
Do you see
Whoa,
that?
hold on.
Daniel.
What's going on?
Do you see that? Do you see that? Do you see that? We're not making this stuff up. We are not making this stuff up. Brother Zeus, what do you think?
A lot of it is, some of the stuff is just pure, unfiltered racism, period. And a large portion of it is its superiority. Some of it is conscious, some of it is subconscious. You know, if you think about the generational momentum of white people constantly being told, this is your country, you built this country, you own this country. Everybody else here, every other culture, every other race are guests in your country. Follow me? Think about the psychological impact of every time you hear Siri, that's a white woman's voice. Every time you call into an automated service, it's a white person's voice. Every time you see a commercial, every time you see an advertisement on somebody on a television box in Walmart, the vast majority of everybody you see, everything you hear, every announcement in the airport is white, 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 white. So think about how that impacts the white people that feeds into this is your country. Everybody else here are guests. Follow me? And so even for the well-intentioned, well-meaning, quote-unquote, good white people, a lot of them are impacted by that, and they handle other cultures, other people from other cultures in that superiority space. This is my country, all right? I'm going to do you a favor, okay? I'm talking down to you. You follow me? And you see that in the policing.
Absolutely.
You see that in so many spaces with the Karens and the Kevins running up on people, checking them. You supposed, just like the Army, and the white guy from the Army who was checking the young black guy in the neighborhood. This is my neighborhood. Get out of the neighborhood. You follow what I'm saying?
I do.
So that has so much weight. That is at the root of this. And it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of force to break that, especially, you know, with the hyper focus on the police. There has to be, they have to be made to care. They clearly don't care about black people and black life. Okay? Asking, begging, pleading, that's not going to do it. Hasn't worked, not going to work. They have to be impacted. There has to be some negative impact for them to fear. Fear has to keep them in check, just like it keeps everybody else in check. You follow me?
Agreed.
And so my perspective is, and you know what's crazy is, if a civil suit is won, okay, you might win 4 million, 10 million, 20 million, 27 million, but that comes out of our pockets,
Absolutely.
the taxpayer pockets. You understand? But if you were to put all of the pensions of all of the police officers in this country in one singular pool, and you say the next civil suit and henceforth is coming out of everybody's pension, I guarantee you they'll stop killing people. Because even for the states that are largely, you know, not having any problems with killing black people, if they see these podunk states that are killing black people left and right, they'll rise up and say, you better stop acting crazy because I just lost 10 years off my pension because of this lawsuit we all had to pay for. You follow me?
Love it.
There has to be some impact that makes them fearful of killing.
Love it, love it. Renee, what do you think?
I totally agree.
Come right up to the mic.
I totally agree. I think that these are observed behaviors. This isn't something that they inherited, right? This is a learned behavior. All police officers go through the training, the same police academy, same typical training. But then you got your good and your bad in anything. I think that our race and other races, as you said, have been made to have the white privilege. The white privilege still exists, and I know white people seem to think that it doesn't, and it has. From day one, there's been white privilege. So when these officers come out of training, even if they went through police academy with a black or another minority, they feel superior to them. And so when they arrest someone and they're not white or anything but white, there's a consequence to it. I got to show you, I got the authority, and if that means killing them in the act, that means killing them. I don't know if you guys recently seen the guy that they said he was trying to use the lady said she was trying to use the stun gun, but shot the young black boy. He happened to be black, she happens to be white. Really? We all know the difference between a stun gun and a gun.
She had been in law enforcement so long and trained so many people and represented the union. You can't be that experienced. You can't be that credentialed. You can't be that aware of the rules, policies, and procedure and make a rookie mistake like that.
Right.
You just can't do it. You knew what you were doing. It's not like you pulled it and boom, you had it drawn and you held it in your hand before you fired. So saying taser, taser, taser in the motion, hey, you know what? People make mistakes. But being like this, nah, I refuse to believe it. I don't even think you believe it. You were just thinking of something to say. 470-251-4647. I'm going to leave this subject with this. Eric Holder said, it's true that it's true that one bad apple won't spoil the bunch. But if you walk up to a tree and you see a bunch of rotten apples that have fallen from that tree, you got to look at that tree. Right now, law enforcement, you are the tree. You ain't the damn apple. You are the apple tree. Now, don't get it twisted. I got plenty of friends, love them to death in law enforcement. And they police like they're policing their family. When they pull up on someone who's the same complexion as them, it's like they're looking at their brother who might be having a mental episode. They don't like to have to police like that. I can guarantee you, though, in that same precinct, there are some police officers that love the thrill of having the upper hand behind that badge. That's the wrong person to be out there. That's that tree, not the bad apple. That's that tree, because that person will create another tree just like them. And then the apples start to spoil. And then people actually pick up the rotten apple and eat it. Sick of this stuff. Let's lighten it up a little bit, just a little bit. I need y'all to know something. We can dance to anything. Did y'all know we can dance to anything? You can put on any type of song and we can make a dance to it. We can just dance.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is.
I mean, every note, every lyric, we can dance to virtually anything. So I found this clip that basically personifies just how well we can dance. So we're going to play this clip. We're going to come back and look at it. But we literally can dance to anything. Go ahead and roll that clip for me. Here we go. We literally can dance. Look at it. Just on every beat. Killing it. I don't know what that move was. I can do it though. I love it. I love it. We can dance to anything. We can dance to anything. All right, now we all got kids, right? We all got kids. We're all parents.
Yep.
We all love our children. Let's talk about these kids. Can we talk about the kids just a little bit?
Yeah.
All right. Renee, how many children do you have?
3.
3 children. All boys?
All boys.
Whoa. Had fun with them, didn't you?
Yes.
You used to like knock them in the chest when they were little, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
I know you did.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
you did.
Pop them in the head.
Boom. Columbus. How you think I know that? That's what we do in Columbus. Ann.
Yes, I have a 7-year-old. She's here in the other room, actually.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. Smart as a whip. Zeus.
1 biological, 1 adopted.
Love it, love it, love it. I got 3 and a granddaughter. Now through marriage, my oldest, we used to butt heads a little bit, But he finally got it. Took him a while, but he started to see the lessons that I was giving him, and it helped to transform him, and he's doing big things for himself. So here's my question. Are we really raising our kids now, or are they raising us? This generation of parents, what do you think? Let's start, you have the youngest, let's start with you, Ann.
I think it's a combination of both. A lot of times we think that we're raising our kids, but they're really here to teach us valuable lessons, which isn't a bad thing.
Agreed.
I think for me personally, one thing that I really needed work on that I didn't realize how deep it went until I had my daughter was self-love, self-worth, and self-value. And having her really put a light on it. And, I had to really look in my own mirror and say, how much self-worth do I have? Because I don't want to raise a daughter who's growing up in a home with a mom that doesn't have self-worth and self-love, doesn't know what that looks like. And so, yeah, it goes both ways. We're teaching them, but they're also teaching us.
I love it. I love it. Renee, what do you think?
I think that I'm an old school parent, so I raised my kids the way that I was raised. I will also say that with each one of my children, I've learned that I'm not the same parent that I was to you, that I am to you, and that I am to you. Because growth in parenting, nobody teaches you how to be a parent. So the first step is learning to be a parent, and you're going to make mistakes. There's no perfect parent. However, there's things that we missed out or we weren't taught as children that you try to teach your children. Like, I don't want to be your best friend because I'm not your best friend. So there's things that I learned from my mother, and there was quotes or mottos, so to say, that was said that I still say to mom, I'm not your friend, but I still want us to have open communication and you voice your opinion, because growing up, no, we didn't have an opinion. smack your lip. You talking back? You know, you be knocked out. You know, so I don't tolerate disrespect. I think I want my boys to have a open communication, open line of communication. So in a sense, I'm learning from them. You know, especially the youngest. I'm doing some learning. And a little bit of bending, but not a lot of bending. I'm still the old school parent.
I feel you. Brother Zeus.
I think if it's done right, you, of course, you raise your child, but you also learn a lot from them, you know. With my daughter, you know, there's a very specific brand of advice I give her. Like, you know, she wants to be a parent one day. And so I tell her to judge my parenting. Don't just allow me to raise you. I want you to focus, have a dual focus on being raised and assess my parenting, because I want you to enhance, you know, what the program that I'm using to teach you, you know, because I'm figuring it out, you know. And as you mentioned, there is no cookie cutter plan that you can use for each child. You have to learn your child. You have to learn their subtleties, their nuances, those minor details that make them unique, and then you have to modify your parental approach to make sure it caters to them specifically. If you try to give everybody the same medicine, you know, a couple might get well, and a couple might not get well. So for my daughter, you know, I give her an open forum. Of course, we have a very close relationship. I'm a full custody father. It's just been me and my baby girl for the past 11 going on 12 years, no contact with her mom, my oldest. So we're extremely close, and we have fantastic communication, because communication is at the root of a healthy relationship with your child. If your child cannot communicate with you across the board with every subject matter, they will get that advice from somebody else, and normally it's their peers. And I made it clear to my daughter a long time ago, listen, baby girl, you got to understand that kids are dumb, okay? All kids are dumb, okay? I was dumb when I was a kid, all right? So that being the case, you can't get advice from your friends because y'all in the same dumb boat sinking, right? So
the same dumb boat. I love that. I'm gonna borrow that. You're gonna see it on Facebook next week. Go ahead, sir.
So maintaining that line of communication is so key, because when your kids can't talk to you, they'll get advice from their friends. And my daughter comes to me all the time, and she'll tell me about her friends talking amongst themselves about heavy topics like domestic abuse, sexual assault, rape, drug use, you know, homosexuality. And they're not talking to their parents because they don't have that healthy line of communication. So they're just kind of pinballing and spitballing ideas. Well, maybe you should try this, and maybe you should try that. There have been plenty of times where her friends will say, hey, listen, Zeta, can you ask your dad, you know, his advice on this? Because they know we have such a close relationship. You know, so I give her an open forum to judge my parenting. I'll every now and again, I'll say, okay, baby girl, so, you know, is there anything that you're missing? Anything that you want to express? Of course, she does it tactfully. She doesn't, you know, go rogue.
Yeah.
But I let her tell me what's wrong, what she thinks could be done better. And so giving her that open platform makes her feel more comfortable with communicating, and lets her know that this is a partnership. Like, I value her opinion. You know, it's not like, listen, do what I say because I said do it. I help her understand the mechanics behind my decision, so she can see those inner workings and it can make sense to her. Because if you keep telling a kid just to do something because you said it, you don't explain to them why, that will create frustration and anger and resentment and bitterness and rebellion. You know what I mean? So those components all together, you know, and learning from her, like I learned so much from her, and I tell her, I give her that credit. I let her know, I learned this from you. You taught me this, you taught me that. So she can understand how valuable she is and how valuable her journey is to me.
Agreed. Well said. Well said. Look at here, Nigel and Nala and DJ. Whatsoever I said do, that's whatever gonna get done. That's it. That's it. No. But for real, I believe that when I don't believe, I know, when I first started my parental career, because it never ends. You know, they still in my pocket now. They out the house, still in my pocket. It's killing me. The thing is, when I started, I would just sit there and look at how little they were. It's like, this little bitty thing here. And then overnight, boom, grown, out the house. I used to always tell them, I ain't gonna miss y'all. I'm gonna be happy when y'all gone. I have all this space to myself. I be doggone, they gone in the house quiet. I'm just looking around. Ain't nothing here, it's just me. I don't even cook like I used to cook. I barely go grocery shopping now. Got a, a refrigerator full of food, you know, anyway. But the thing that I really appreciate about all of my children is how funny kids can be, how much energy and how exuberant everything is to them. Just walking to the store is an adventure, you know, and I cherish those types of things, and I miss them. Yeah, don't come over though. I mean, I'll call y'all when I want to see y'all, but don't be at the door when I get there. DMX took his daughter on a ride. It's called a slingshot. Have you guys heard of the slingshot?
Yes.
Man, listen.
I couldn't
I don't know how he did it.
I couldn't do it.
But he did it. Now I'll tell you this. I ain't getting on it. I might get it. If my daughter want to get on it, I'll get on it. But what he really encapsulated in this video is what parents really do. So we're going to play this video. We'll come back and we'll talk about it. Go ahead and roll clip. Love it, 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 love it. Now, did you notice that when they first took off, DMX looked scared as hell?
Oh, yeah.
As soon as his daughter started yelling, he changed. It's like, hey, I ain't got time to be scared no more. I got to make sure she's all right.
Yeah.
And then all the way down, he kept encouraging her. Now, I was mad as hell when she said, I want mommy. Daddy, like right there, I got you. She said, I want mommy. You killing me, little girl. But no, that, to me, the whole spirit of that, in the face of fear, no time for that. He got to make sure his daughter was okay. And I love it. I love it. It just shows that as a parent, it stops being about you. It's about that child. I will admit, there were a couple of times that I had to remind myself that these kids didn't ask to be here.
That's right.
You know, they didn't choose this. I was fortunate enough, and my ex-wife at the time, we were blessed to be able to receive them. So that, for me, that video is a big thing. But these kids can be ungrateful as all get out sometimes. They can take you for granted. They can think you an ATM.
Oh, yeah.
Case in point, this little girl right here set her mama up. She really set her mama up. In this clip, y'all gonna see how ungrateful kids can really be at times. It's funny.
It's true.
But it's a trip. Go ahead and roll a clip. Here we go.
Big. Oh my gosh. Your baby has gotten so big. Wait, excuse me. I didn't say I was babysitting. My grandbaby's getting so big. Oh my gosh. Your baby has gotten so big. Wait, excuse me. I didn't say I was babysitting.
Did you hear the laugh? She like, wait a minute. What makes you think you ain't babysitting?
Right.
That ain't how this work. Get this baby. Watch this baby. And walked off. I love it. I love it. I love it. So here we go. Let's talk about the truth. Now, ladies, y'all say y'all want the truth. Can y'all really, really, really handle the truth? I mean, given tactfully, given the right way, can y'all really, really handle the truth? Renee, can women really handle the truth?
It depends on the woman.
Oh, okay, I love the way she deflected.
It honestly does, because you have women that are nonchalant, that, you know, strong, hardcore women that
love it.
Nothing you say phases them. And then you have the women that are sensitive, and some that just, no matter if it's good or bad, people have identity problems. So they're not going to identify when you keep it real with them, like they're in denial. So like I said, you got different type of women. You got women that's just naturally sensitive. You got hardcore women that just don't give a damn. And then you got women that are actually sensitive to the truth and can't handle it.
Fair enough. And?
I think it depends on where she's at as far as maturity. Emotional maturity. If she's emotionally mature and the more secure she is with herself, the easier it is for her to digest the truth.
Okay.
But also, it depends on the timing of it. If she's caught off guard and it's just thrown at her, even the strongest, most secure woman might still have a problem digesting it. She might need some time to download it and be able to accept it after she's had time to digest it. But if she's asking for the truth, if she's coming out and asking for it and being proactive about it, she's emotionally mature. I'm talking about an emotionally mature woman. Then she can probably accept it because she's already set her mind up to ask this question, to be prepared for what the answer may be.
I love it. I love it.
An emotionally immature woman, no, they can't handle the truth.
Understood. Brother Zeus.
It takes a lot to just take it on the chin, you know, to deal with that honesty. And that's something that I'm actually working with my daughter on presently, you know, teaching her how to, you know, be able to just take it on the chin, just handle it, because, you know, naturally when you call somebody out on something, like, it just strikes a nerve and they just go into offense or defense or a little bit of both, a little bit of both, back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it takes a lot, and that's something that has to be ingrained in them, that has to be taught, because I think the natural inclination of a person in general is to go into defense or offense. So I'm really working hard to make sure that she eradicates that problematic factor, where if somebody calls her on something that she knows to be true, no matter how bad it is, you just accept it. Okay, you're right. Okay, especially if it's done with tact. Now, if somebody's disrespecting you, that's something different. It's very difficult to be humble when somebody is calling you out on something and they're being rude about it. But if they're being tactful and they're being respectful and they call you out on something, it's hard, but it's something that definitely needs to be taught. And a lot of people are not taught that.
I agree. You know, one thing that I found very useful as I've continued to grow and learn is that you can learn something from everybody. You can either learn what to do or what not to do. And so when someone gives you something, it's always information, it's always data. So if they give you the data, if it's something you can use it. If it's something you can't use, don't carry it. Some people will talk nasty to you or come at you wrong just because they want to bring themselves up and pull you down, and you don't have to carry that. That's their stuff. why pick it up and put it on your back and walk around with it when it wasn't designed for you? That's all of their drama. You don't have to carry it. So I really have tried to impress that on my kids. Look, that's it. If you can learn something, learn. If you can't, just keep pushing. Don't give it no more weight. Not a bit, because it ain't going to grow nothing in you. It's going to hold you down. Love it. Did you guys see the Versus Challenge?
With who?
Earth, Wind, and Fire and Isley Brothers?
I did.
You see it, brother?
Bits and pieces, yeah.
Okay. It was off the chain. They showed up and showed out.
It really was.
The thing was, Steve Harvey, you know, at some point he sat down and finally let the people who were there do their thing. But, you know, he actually brought a little bit of, he pulled you into it. Mm-hmm. As a host, that's what you're supposed to do. I got to make it something that you feel like you're a part of. So I got this recap of it where, you know, Steve Harvey, Ronald Isley, and I can't remember the bass player's name from Earth, Wind, and Fire, but they all got together and they had a little conversation about what happened on the Versus. So we're going to watch this Versus Challenge recap. Go ahead, roll clip.
Yeah. Oh, hell no. Oh, Steve Harvey. I'm going to tell y'all right now. You don't understand how blessed I am to be here. I'm going to tell you, Ron, I've known you a long damn time.
That's right.
And Verdine, I've known you a long damn time with your pretty hair. I'm going to tell you right now. Whoa! Hey, I ain't never, and I done watched a lot of verses. Done watched a lot. And I'm going to tell you, all the verses is trash. And I said, they said the Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind, and Fire are going to be here. And I said, what? What? Where? When? Wow. Huh? And I said, I got to host this. I'll be damned if you ain't going to let Steve Harvey host this. Shit, this mine, this old school. You know, Steve, this my shit. And so I said, if I don't host, I'll burn this whole damn Versus up. It'll be me versus you, Swiss Beats and a punk ass Timberland. That's real shit. And they said, Steve, you know you got the host. I said, you goddamn right, I got the host.
Talk
these my friends. What you say, Ron?
Talk your talk, baby.
I'm talking my talk. You know, because
let these young niggas know, Steve.
I'm gonna let these young old punk ass Lil Baby, Dub Baby, Baby Mama, all the baby mumble rapping, humming the ass. I'm tired of it, man. We got to respect the old school. That's real talk. That's real damn talk. I'm from Cleveland, y'all. I'm from Cleveland. All your music is the reason why I have all my goddamn kids. It's your damn music. Yeah. It's your music, man. You don't understand how my heart right now.
Steven, let me tell you something, Steven. They on Twitter right now. They say you talking too much on Twitter. That's what they saying.
Hey, man.
Tell them what you think about that, Steven.
Hey, man, I can tweet, twat. I don't give a damn. But I know one thing, goddamn. You can retweet this shit, because your dumb ass, you old young, old little bird chest ass, skinny jean wearing with your ass out. I don't give a damn. Right now, this is my night. This is your damn night. Your damn night. Ron Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind, and goddamn Fire. That's what I know. You know what? I'm telling you.
Where's Nice at? Tell Nice to come on.
Oh, Nice.
DJ Nice.
DJ Nice, where your ass at?
Where DJ Nice at?
Now, I'm going to tell y'all, 1972, okay? I was working at a grocery store. And I used to play your songs when I was putting away the mangoes. I worked in produce.
Is that right?
And every time your song came on, I had a better day at work. All the ladies came around me in produce. I'm going to tell you that right now. All of them came because I was playing Isley and I was playing Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Won't he do it?
Man, I tell you what. Man, that whole clip is funny as all get out.
Yes.
So if you didn't see Versus with the with Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Isley Brothers, go back and watch it. because it's really, really good, worth the watch. All right, let's do this. Renee, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about your business.
Oh, okay. So, well, I have a nail salon in Alpharetta. It's called Lenza Nails. I've owned it for 2.5 years. I'm also a veteran of AT&T, been there for 21 years. About to retire as soon as my son graduates high school next year. The plan is to retire from AT&T. I'm also a owner of a publishing company called Storytelling Publishing. My brother, my sister, and I do publishing and writing books.
Love it. A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
She could still keep going with that resume because it's extensive. She gave you the elevator speech. That's what that was.
How old are your boys now?
My oldest is actually 30. And I have one 26, and the baby, he'll be 17 next month.
Y'all didn't think she was, y'all thought she was 30. She looked 30, don't she?
Right, I was like...
That's C-Town
like
for you. That's C-Town. And give us more information about you.
Well, I'm a single mom with sole custody of my daughter, so it's all me. I'm the mom, the nanny, the babysitter, dad, chef.
Got it.
The whole therapist, everything from A to Z. I have a background in property management, but I took some time off to focus on being a mom and just really being there for her. I'm all she has, so she doesn't have any siblings, and I don't plan on popping any more babies out, so yeah. But, you know, outside of that, what I love to do is just, you know, help people and put some inspirational content out there, and sometimes do live videos or, you know, podcasts or YouTube videos, and or I just show what goes on in our lives, and you never know how it helps people. And sometimes I'll post when I have my worst day. You know, I tell people, you know, I'm having a bad day today, and I just do that because I think it allows other people to feel like, okay, it's okay for me to be human. You know, I think sometimes we're always trying to be so strong, and I'm like, no, sometimes it's okay to just say, you know, I'm having a bad day today.
Agreed.
So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Love it. Brother Zeus, give us more information about you.
Okay, as previously mentioned, actor, life coach, motivational speaker, mentor, do a lot of independent mentoring in the community. Also the director of programming for a nonprofit organization called RED Inc., which stands for Rehabilitation Enables Dreams. And we work with young people, nonviolent youthful offenders who've gotten into the system, and we try to prevent them from falling deeper into the system, work with them for a year, pair them up with mentors, and if they make it through the program, they get their records cleared and clean so they can just go back to living life as a normal citizen, you know. I also am a published author. I'm a sketch artist for different companies. I create logos, you know. So I do a multitude of things. Understood.
Didn't I tell y'all it was going to be off the chain today? I told y'all. Do y'all see the depth and the range of these people that have actually blessed me to come sit down and talk on a Saturday? They could have been anywhere else in Atlanta, but they spent some time on Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffery L Miller, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming out. Look, now we ain't through. We about to get it crack-a-lacking again. Let's talk about relationships a little bit more. Just a little bit more. All right. A little bit more. All right, so Brother Zeus, what is the most difficult thing from your perspective about women in relationships? Most difficult thing.
Now we're talking about my personal experiences or just
your perspective personally, however you want to put it.
Okay. So so what I've come to find over my years of dating is finding a woman who can appreciate the full spectrum of what I bring to the table. So I began planning for my future when I was in single digits. Okay. I realized at a young age that in order to qualify for a top-notch individual, for a 10, you know, for a fantastic queen, I had to be a comparable king. So I began to work on myself as a young, as a child, you know, and so of course I wasn't equipped with all the characteristics and personality traits that I needed and wanted. So anytime I would meet somebody, I would assess the full breadth of their character, and they could have 30 unsavory traits and one fantastic trait that I didn't yet have, and I would mimic, study it, emulate it until it became my own. And I did that with everybody I met throughout my life, trying to amass this menagerie of components that would qualify me for a fantastic woman when I got older. And I did the same thing, with being a father. And so getting older, when I began to date as a teenager, I had this fantastic package, that I had put together, and I couldn't wait to share it with, the opposite sex. And I came to find that they could only appreciate a small fraction of that package because of where they were mentally and emotionally. And that was very disheartening, very disappointing, And so waited till I got into my early 20s. Same thing. A larger percent, they appreciated more, but nowhere near enough. And so what I came to find was I had to date older women for them to fully appreciate the fullness of everything that I'd built up and toiled to become. But, on the other hand, at the time I wanted somebody my age, but I just couldn't find somebody who had matured enough and grown enough, because people just weren't putting in that work. They were just they were products of their environment. They were being pushed and pulled by the way they were raised and their home life and the communities they grew up in. But they weren't taking an active role in enhancing themselves like I was. So what I've experienced over the years is not being able to find somebody who can really appreciate everything that I've put together over the years.
Well said. Well said. Okay. All right. Ladies, we'll start with you, Renee. What is the most difficult thing about dealing with a man in a relationship? Did y'all see her? Did y'all see that? Y'all didn't hear the breath she took in. She's like, she inhaled a little bit, and she's getting her thoughts together. Go ahead.
No, because it seemed like everything Zeus is saying, I feel the exact same way as a woman. I mean, I feel like at a young age, I was raised that, hey, I need to go to college. I need to build this portfolio of, okay, I need to get me a degree. Then I need to keep going. I need to get me a corporate job and, just build on me first, making sure I'm put together, because I don't want to expect something from someone that I myself don't possess. And then also, just each person comes with their own set of groceries. You know what I mean? You got people with good milk, sour milk, and I don't drink milk, So just putting all that together, I find that it's more difficult for me with men. Men don't express themselves like women do. And so I want to know the inner you, because I'm going to express myself and make me feel comfortable enough to express myself to you. And I want to know how you feel as a man. I need to see your sensitive side. I feel that, and then and I know they'll say the same thing about women. You come with baby mama drama at this age in our life. You got a lot of baby mama drama. And I'm not going to be mad at the baby mama because you mad at the baby mama. Look, we could co-parent. I just feel like they come with a lot of baggage. We all do, and we haven't sorted through that baggage yet. So for me, difficulty in dating a man is I need to see that sensitive side. I need to get to know you. We need to be able to communicate good. I also, in a man, I need you. I don't want you just to be on the corporate and professional level. I need you to be my homeboy too. Hey, let's kick it sometime.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And most difficult thing about men in relationships?
Well, I haven't been in a relationship in 10 years, and prior to that, I was in back-to-back relationships.
Okay, understood.
And so I got to a point where I felt overwhelmed, and it was just, I was like, I can't do another relationship.
Understood.
So then next thing I know, I ended up, pregnant and had a daughter, and now being a single parent, it's very challenging to make the time and space for a man. It's very doable, but because of my situation, I have to sometimes I don't even have the energy to wash my own.
I get you.
Can I speak freely? You know, so, but I don't really look at it that way anymore. I found that over the last 10 years, it was actually a blessing in disguise. I've gone on this spiritual journey of self-work, and I've matured a lot, and I've reflect back now on where I've gone wrong in my previous relationships, and I believe that I've attracted all those situations based on where I was at in my maturity level. And I feel like now, you know, I'm just trusting in the divine timing of the universe to bring the right man. He doesn't have to be perfect, but the universe knows what I want to, you know, an effective communicator, someone who's also emotionally mature and understands what it is to be a single mom, a single parent, and you know, he has to add value to our lives. So to answer your question, I haven't had any difficulty because I've been single for the last 10, going on 11 years now.
Got it. All right, ladies, I'm gonna give it to y'all like this.
Uh-oh.
Y'all so pretty. Y'all be smelling good. Y'all be so soft. Ooh, I love it. But sometimes y'all just don't listen. I mean, y'all want to be heard, but y'all don't want to listen sometimes. And I'm saying it from a space of love. I could say I don't like chicken. You will probably say you don't like your mama chicken, but you love my chicken. I just told you I don't like chicken, but you're not listening to me. We had a debate the other day about a gift. And I said the best gift that I've ever gotten from a woman, one of the best gifts, was a compendium of this comic book writer's best stories. She figured out we talked about it, but she listened to me talk about my favorite comic book writer, and she gave me that gift. Best gift ever, because she listened to me and bought it for me. The debate was, if a woman gives a man a gift and he doesn't like it, should he be mad? Or should he just accept it and, you know, not say nothing? I'm like, he should say something. You know, don't make her think she did a good job and she didn't do a good job. Don't y'all say, you know, what's the thing, if the guy ain't doing nothing in the bed, you need to tell him and quit faking? They need to know they ain't performing. Well, she needs to know that she ain't listening. With this gift she bought me that I don't even like. Buy me some Brute cologne. Brute! But now, ladies, sometimes, ladies, you have to listen to understand me. Not just to hear me, but to understand me. When you listen to understand, you develop something called emotional intelligence. When you have emotional intelligence, the relationship, especially in the relationship, it tends to go a lot better because you know how I'm going to react to something. And I know how you're going to react to something. And together, we make sure we don't do those things to set each other off, or we do those things to turn each other out. All right, now, let's talk about it a little bit more now. Animals be wilding out. Pet lover?
No.
Pet lover?
Yes, I have a dog.
Oreo?
Yeah, Oreo.
Brother Zeus, pet lover? Animal lover. See, animals be wilding out. Animals are like people. They got personalities and everything. They think things through sound, logic, and reason. They got all that stuff. But animals be wilding out now. It's a recession. It's a pandemic. They acting strange for a little change. Go ahead and roll that clip. On the stage. Yeah. Coming to the stage. You should tip your waitresses. Killing me. I love it. Listen, one thing that I like to do when we come on the show is I like to talk about sometimes politics. You guys mind talking a little politics with me?
Not at all.
Okay, good deal. The state of Georgia recently passed a law changing the way that voting happens in this state. Now, yes, they did say that you cannot provide food or drink to people waiting in line. Yes, the governor did say people in line can order Uber Eats or DoorDash. Yes, he did say that. They did make some changes to the drop boxes and where they could be located. Here's the part that gets restrictive. Based on the size of the county, the number of drop boxes could have increased or decreased. Guess which county had the largest decrease in drop boxes? Guess. Fulton County. Guess who the majority of voters are in Fulton County? Democrats. Black Democrats. Gwinnett County is starting to change demographically. Clayton County, you know Clayton County? All these, DeKalb County, all these counties that are primarily in the Atlanta area disproportionately will be affected by that change. So here's my question. Have these Republicans lost their mind, or are they really trying to protect the integrity of Georgia's election system? Let's start with you, Ann.
Well, you know, as the saying goes, don't hate the player, hate the game. They're just playing the game that will most benefit them. Is it right? According to them. So my whole thing is you just have to know how to play the game better than your opponent. So when they do things like that, now the Democrats have to figure out, okay, we're not playing checkers anymore, we're playing chess now. So I think it's going to backfire on them. What I see happening is it's going to backfire on Kemp. He thinks he's doing something great, but this is just pretty much voted him out. When you piss off people of color, we have a bigger fight. We have more fight in us because we have been the ones that have had to deal with more adversity. So when you piss us off and you try to put us in a hole or put us in a corner or back us into a corner, we're going to fight even harder. So I ultimately think that, yeah, he may think he's doing something big now, but I think in the long run it's going to catch up to him and it's going to backfire on him. We already see what happened with Will Smith pulling his movie production out of here. That's just the beginning. There's going to be more to come. So he is really jeopardizing the whole state with funding and, you know, what projects will come here now. So
Agreed. Renee, what do you think?
Your question was, have they lost their damn mind? I would say yes, they have. And I think it's the mentality of the political game is that, and even we say it, minorities cannot, specifically blacks, cannot stick together. And they bank on that. However, it should have been a difference of opinion when they saw that we all came together for the election just to get Trump out of office. I think, as you said, that this is Kemp way out the office, and I think that we coming back together will make sure he's out of office and change some of that. I'm afraid that the law is going to be there for a while until we can get other politicians to get in line and vote that out of office, because that's set in stone now.
It is the law in Georgia.
Yeah, in Georgia.
They did pass it, and he signed it. All right, Brother Zeus.
Asking, have they lost their minds? I don't think they ever had their minds, from my perspective. You know, I think this is a twofold retaliation by Governor Kemp because, of course, the Democrats, the black Democrats specifically, came together to win those 2 Senate seats, you know, with Warnock and Ossoff. Then, of course, there's a gubernatorial race coming up, you know, so Kemp, of course, doesn't want to relinquish power. You know, he, you know, greased the wheels and did some finagling to get in office the first time.
Absolutely.
So he's trying to do something similar to maintain that power so he won't get toppled by Stacey Abrams. So, you know, you see the Republicans, they are willing to resort to more low-grade, conniving, dirty, whether, you know, behind the scenes dirty or out front, out in the open dirty. They're willing to resort to dirtier tactics to win and advance, you know, their agendas. Democrats have not shown an equivalent ability or willingness, I should say, you know, taking the high road or whatever the case may be. But there have been many times where the Republicans will change laws to favor themselves and then it backfires, you know. So hopefully this will go in that same way. We as black people just have to be more cohesive. We have to organize, and we've shown the ability to do so, to bring our resources together, black businesses, you know, black finances, to, you know, navigate around these new ridiculous laws.
Understood. Listen, folks, don't get it twisted. This country has a history of manipulating elections. If you think showing your ID is all about you showing your ID, I will submit this to you for your consideration. In the state of Georgia, when they mandated that you had to show an ID, a state issue ID, they barred accepting schools and universities. So Georgia Tech, which is a state school, that means that ID is a state issued ID. They won't accept the ID. They won't accept it for any of the HBCUs. They won't accept any of those. Even though most of those students who wanted to vote when that law first passed they had state issued IDs. Second thing, in the same state that required that you had state issued IDs, they reduced the number of places that you could go and get an ID. They moved most of them that were in the city of Atlanta to county offices away from the black voters. At one point, it got so bad that they had to admit, okay, we made it really difficult because some of these offices aren't on the bus line. So we got to do something. So they started adding different ways to get your ID. So don't get it twisted. Voter ID ain't about security. It's about exclusion. It's a barrier so they can stop disenfranchised people from being able to vote. In addition to that, the last election in the state of Georgia was run on a Republican-designed election system. So if you're saying that election system was broken, you're saying that you designed something that was broken. And now here you are now designing something else that's broken. It's a broken system. What happened was we had a politically savvy Stacey Abrams that said, hey, all we got to do is the same stuff they do, but do it better than them. And we won. Here's what it is. Georgia saved the United States.
Yes.
That's why you got that stimulus. If you got a stimulus. That's why you got some of the pandemic relief stuff that's coming out now. That's why it's in place, because of the change in the senators from the state of Georgia. Because the Republicans have blocked nearly everything to benefit people during this pandemic. Nearly everything. There was a motion, a bill presented to pay every American $2,000 a month. Do you think we would be facing an eviction crisis had that passed? $2,000 a month for somebody in California, that ain't really nothing. The state would have kicked in more there. $2,000 a month in some places in Georgia, you good. Alabama, you good. It was better than nothing. So what they did is they gave more money for unemployment, and they exposed how corrupt this free market system is. Pay you just enough to get by, rake in all the profits. Now people are making this money, more money they were making than they were employed. Why should I come work for you? You're not paying me enough. So we're gonna get we're gonna get to the point of knowing that we have the wrong people in office. They know we're starting to get that, and they're getting scared. That's why they have so many laws that are changing state or nationwide, because they know we're mad. They're trying to protect themselves because we outnumber them. We outnumber them. It is what it is. All right. This has been a lot of fun.
Yes.
I've had a great time.
Good deal. I'm glad all of you came out. Renee, if people want to contact you or follow you on social media, how could they find you?
I'm listed as RH2842 at AT&T.com and Pretty Eyes on Instagram.
Thank you so much for coming out. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Jeffrey.
All right. And how can people follow you?
Vus Views on everywhere. VUS, VIEWS, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and Facebook. And if there's any other social media platform I'm forgetting about, because I know there's a lot now.
Got it. Thank you so much for coming out. We really appreciate it.
Okay, thanks for having me.
All right. Brother Zeus, how can people find or follow you?
You just look up my name on all social media platforms. You can actually just Google me. ZeusLuby.
All right. Now, you can find me everywhere as Talk with Jeffery, Jeffery, or you can hashtag the Granddad. That's the Granddad, like the Godfather. And yes, you must say the before you say Granddad. That's what my little muffin calls me. Every now and then I'll get together and we'll do this type of show. But what I also need you to do is I need you to follow the network. You can find the network on Instagram at manifesttv.status, Facebook, Status Network LLC, Periscope, Status_Network_, Twitter, Status_Network_. We are on the Amazon Fire Stick and Roku as Status Network, Manifest TV, and YouTube, Manifest TV again. You can find me on all social media apps as Talk with Jeffery, everywhere except for Snapchat. I ain't snapping, I ain't chatting. I think I'm too old for that. This has been a lot of fun, though. Listen, we're going to get together again real soon, but for right now, I am out.
Who is that on the radio?
Who is that on the radio?
Who is that on the radio?
You really want to know who's on the radio? Come on. Let's talk about it.
Jeffery. Let's talk about it live with Jeffery L Miller. Watching is the best decision you'll ever make. Thursday nights from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern.
You know what time it is.
Call or text in live, 470-251-4647. Hashtag Let's Talk with Jeffery. And come check us out on www.statusnetwork.net or download the Status Network app on your Apple or Google Play Store.
Let's give them something to talk about.
It's almost showtime, people.
Let's tune in to see what Jeffery